human heart has always carried a quiet knowing that it belongs to something larger. Beneath all the noise of thought and the illusions of separation lies a subtle pulse, a rhythm that connects every living thing. The Sufis called this rhythm the eternal dance of being, a ceaseless movement through which existence expresses itself as divine love unfolding. To sense this dance is to awaken to the truth that nothing stands apart. You, the trees, the stars, the wind, every atom and every emotion, all are notes within a single cosmic symphony playing the song of the One. This insight is not a philosophy in the abstract, but an experience that reshapes perception. The great Sufi mystics, Rumi, Hafiz, Ibn Arabi, and countless others, did not speak of unity as an idea to be believed. They tasted it, lived it, and dissolved in it. Their words came from that state of merging, where the boundaries between the lover and the beloved, the observer and the observed, vanish like mist in sunlight. Ibn Arabi described it as the unity of being, the realization that there is no existence but God's existence. To perceive multiplicity, to say this and that, you and me, is to speak from the surface of the ocean. Dive deeper, and all waves return to the same water. Sufi wisdom begins with love, because love is the bridge that spans the illusion of separation. It is not the sentimental affection that comes and goes, but the deep recognition that everything we encounter is a reflection of the divine. Rumi wrote, "The lover is not different from the beloved. Love itself is the bridge." In this light, love is not merely an emotion but a way of seeing. When the heart is purified of ego's distortions, it perceives unity everywhere. The leaf shimmering in the morning light, the laughter of a friend, even pain and loss. Each reveals a facet of the same divine jewel. This awareness challenges the ordinary sense of self. We are accustomed to thinking of ourselves as isolated individuals moving through a vast and indifferent universe. The Sufi path invites us to question this assumption. What if the feeling of being separate is the real illusion? What if the universe is not a cold expanse, but a living, breathing presence that includes us completely? When one begins to sense the divine pulse in all things, the line between inner and outer dissolves. The world is no longer out there, but arises within the same consciousness that says, "I am." To walk the Sufi path is to enter a process of unlearning. It asks us to let go of the stories that define us, our roles, achievements, wounds, and desires, and listen instead to the silent music behind all forms. This does not mean denying individuality, but understanding it as a unique expression of the whole, just as a wave is not separate from the ocean, yet retains its shape for a moment. Each person is a temporary form through which the infinite expresses itself. In recognizing this, individuality is not lost but transformed. It becomes a transparent instrument through which the divine melody can be heard more clearly. The practice of remembrance, or Dhikr, lies at the heart of Sufi life. It means to remember, not in the sense of recalling a past event, but awakening to what is always present. Through repeating sacred names, or simply bringing awareness to the divine presence in each breath, the Sufi polishes the heart until it becomes a mirror reflecting only the beloved. Hafiz captured this beautifully when he wrote, "I am a hole in a flute that the Christ's breath moves through." Listen to this music. Every act of remembrance is a step in the eternal dance, a movement toward transparency, where the divine light shines unobstructed through the human form. In daily life, this remembrance can take simple forms. Mindful observation, watching the sky without labeling it, feeling gratitude for small moments, engaging with others from a place of sincerity, becomes a spiritual practice. Each act, no matter how ordinary, can reveal the sacred when performed with awareness. Gratitude opens the heart, reminding us that everything given is grace. Communal engagement, serving others without expectation, dissolves the illusion of mine and yours. Slowly, the self-centered orbit of thought loosens, and a greater harmony begins to unfold. Rumi often described the human soul as a reed flute, hollowed out by longing. The emptier it becomes, the more beautifully it sings. This emptiness is not despair but readiness, a surrender to the divine flow. In a culture that teaches us to fill every silence and control every outcome, the Sufi approach is radical. It says, stop striving to perfect the outer form. Instead, refine the inner listening. When you align with the rhythm of being, life moves through you with grace. Challenges still come, but they are no longer enemies. They become movements in the dance, each with its own necessity and wisdom. The sense of unity that arises from this awareness has profound psychological effects. It brings peace because conflict depends on division between self and other, good and bad, success and failure. When those opposites are seen as expressions of a larger whole, anxiety softens. Compassion becomes natural, not as a moral duty but as recognition. How can one harm another when the other is oneself in a different form? This is why the Sufis were known for their tenderness. Their mysticism was not escape from the world but deeper engagement with it, grounded in love. To embrace the unity of being is also to accept impermanence. Everything that appears will fade, yet the essence behind appearances remains. The mystics likened this to a dance because a dance exists only through motion. Trying to grasp it freezes its beauty. Likewise, life cannot be possessed, it can only be participated in. To live in harmony with the divine rhythm is to move with the unfolding moment, neither clinging nor resisting. Each breath becomes a step in the cosmic choreography, each heartbeat a drumbeat in the divine song. Still, this awakening does not erase individuality. It refines it. The drop that realizes it is the ocean does not vanish. It becomes the ocean in expression. The Sufi saints were deeply human, joyful, sorrowful, humorous, and humble. Their enlightenment did not make them detached specters, but radiant presences who could laugh and weep with equal freedom. In seeing God in all things, they honored the uniqueness of every creature. The divine unity does not flatten diversity. It celebrates it as the infinite creativity of the One manifesting through countless forms. The practice of presence transforms how one relates to time. In the ordinary view, time drags us from past to future, always leaving us unsatisfied. But when consciousness awakens to unity, every moment is complete. The present becomes the meeting place between the human and the divine. Rumi called it the field beyond right and wrong, where the opposites reconcile. In that stillness, the heart rests in what the Sufis call sukun, a peace beyond understanding. This peace does not depend on circumstances. It arises from alignment with the eternal. Sufi poetry often speaks in the language of love because reason alone cannot grasp this mystery. Logic divides, while love unites. The mystic sees God not as a distant ruler, but as the beloved who dwells in every atom. To love God, then, is to love all of existence. Hafiz wrote, "Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, 'You owe me.' Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. This is the love that burns away separation. When it takes hold, the heart becomes a sun, radiating warmth without discrimination." From this perspective, spirituality is not an escape from the world, but a transformation of how we see it. Every moment becomes an opportunity to remember the beloved, the sound of rain, the laughter of children, the ache of longing. All are notes in the divine composition. When we live with this awareness, the ordinary becomes luminous. Washing dishes, walking in the street, or sitting quietly can all be forms of worship when done in remembrance. The Sufis taught that the divine is not confined to mosques or rituals, but revealed in every act of sincerity. Yet, this path also demands humility. The ego resists dissolution, clinging to control and certainty. Sufi masters often said that the greatest veil between the seeker and God is the self. To approach the beloved, one must pass through the fire of self-forgetting. This does not mean erasing one's identity, but loosening the grip of possessiveness, Am I in my life, my achievements, my pain? When that grip softens, space opens for grace to flow. What remains is not emptiness but fullness, not loss but freedom. The world today often feels fragmented, marked by alienation and disconnection. The Sufi vision offers an antidote to remember that we are not observers of the universe, but participants in its sacred dance. When we truly see ourselves as threads in this vast tapestry, our actions gain meaning. Compassion is no longer optional. It becomes the natural response of an awakened heart. Environmental care, social justice, kindness in daily life, all arise not from ideology but from love. The mystic sees the divine face in every creature and treats the world as a sanctuary. The more one lives from this awareness, the more spontaneous joy arises. It is not the fleeting pleasure of possession, but the quiet delight of participation. The Sufi dances, those whirling movements that have become iconic, symbolize this joy. As the dervish spins, one hand reaches toward heaven and the other toward earth, representing the flow of divine grace through human life. The dancer becomes a living axis around which the universe turns. It is a powerful image of surrender. The individual dissolves into motion, carried by the rhythm of being itself. To cultivate this awareness, reflection and stillness are essential. The mystics often withdrew into solitude, not to escape the world, but to listen more deeply. In silence, the subtle music of existence becomes audible. Simple daily reflections on gratitude, the fleeting nature of time, the interdependence of life, can open the same doorway. Ask yourself, who is breathing this breath? Who is witnessing this thought? With each inquiry, the sense of a separate self thins, and the vastness behind it begins to reveal itself. When unity is felt, even suffering takes on new meaning. Pain becomes a teacher, pointing us back to what does not change. The Sufis spoke of fana, the annihilation of the self, followed by baka, the subsistence in God. In modern terms, it is the death of false identity and the birth of a deeper consciousness. Through surrender, the seeker discovers that what dies is not real and what remains is eternal. The ego trembles at this thought, but the heart rejoices, for it recognizes home. To live in the awareness of the eternal dance of being is to embody peace in a restless world. It is to move through life with a quiet confidence that nothing is truly outside of the divine embrace. Compassion flows naturally, for every encounter is with the beloved in disguise. Creativity flourishes because the divine expresses itself through human hands. Even the simplest gestures, listening deeply, forgiving, sharing a meal, become acts of worship. Imagine a world where this understanding guides our choices. A world where competition yields to cooperation, where empathy replaces judgment, where the sacredness of life is honored in all its forms. This is not an impossible dream, but a natural consequence of awakening to unity. When enough hearts remember the rhythm of being, society itself begins to move in harmony. The Sufis envision such a world not through doctrine, but through transformation, one heart at a time. The final invitation of this wisdom is simple yet profound. Step into the dance. Let the rhythm of existence move through you. Drop the idea that you must control or perfect life. Instead, participate fully with awareness and love. The dance has no beginning and no end. It is happening now in this very breath. To feel it is to know peace. To live it is to embody grace. As Rumi said, stop acting so small. You are the universe in ecstatic motion. In realizing this, we come home to the truth that has always been waiting within us, the eternal dance of being, the divine symphony playing itself as you.